On Thursday, 19th of June, a Year 9 pupil who attends Ashfield Boys High School was violently attacked by another pupil in his year. This isn't an uncommon occurrence. Fights within schools have been happening for generations.
What made this attack so unusual was that prior to that day, there had been no interaction between the two boys involved. They were not in the same class, and they had no social interaction outside of the school. To make matters worse, the pupil who was injured is on the autism spectrum and is a vulnerable individual. During lunchtime, the boy, who was later to be violently attacked, was approached by another pupil who made a homophobic comment. The young victim admits to making a retort, but the incident didn't flare up at this point. It wasn't until a few hours later that the victim was attacked by the physically larger boy. The assailant attacked his victim fro behind, giving no warning whatsoever. He threw several punches at his victim's head, and the attack caused the smaller boy to lose balance and hit his head against a window frame. Having knocked his victim to the ground, the larger boy then proceeded to rain blows down upon his victim. The attack was witnessed by a female member of the school's cleaning staff who shouted for the assailant to stop. The boy looked up to see who shouted, and seeing it was a female cleaner, he resumed his attack. The cleaner went to fetch a member of the teaching staff, who was able to pull the larger boy off his victim. After the attack, the two boys were put into separate rooms, with the victim being left alone. It was during this time that the young man was able to use his mobile phone to contact his grandfather, his mother's father, who was waiting for him outside the school. While the grandfather parked his car and entered the school to find his grandson, the young boy was interviewed by a female member of the teaching staff. At this point, the school had made no attempt to contact the young man's parents, but rather elected to question the young man without a parent present. Additionally, the school failed to take account of the young man's injuries, which were visible and extensive, the young man having blood and soft tissue damage evident on his face. Instead, to calling for an ambulance, the school released the young man into his grandfather's care, cautioning him not to allow the young man to close his eyes and sleep for several hours. This might seem like good advice, but the school failed to take precautions with what may have been a severe head injury sustained on their grounds. The young man did in fact require hospital care and had to attend a local hospital where it was confirmed he had concussion, which caused him to vomit on 2 occasions and which left him with blurred vision. The following day, the young boy's mother and grandfather went to a consultation with a senior member of the teaching staff, who proceeded to minimize the attack and suggest that the young victim had given grounds for the attack because he had responded to the initial homophobic assault. It is to be noted that the victim does not identify as part of the LGBTQ+ community, and his retort was not based in homophobia. The school further suggested that the two young men should be brought together to make friends and to show that the young lad should not be worried about further attacks. Quite how the school could be able to ensure there are no further attacks is unknown, and the fact that the attack should never have happened in the first place seemed lost on them. At this time, the school had failed to report the attack to the PSNI, something which is detailed in the school's own guidelines. And it wasn't until the school was informed that the family had informed the PSNI themselves that the school agreed to suspend the assailant. When questioned if the attacking pupil would be excluded from the school, the mother was told that this one incident wasn't sufficient to implement this step. One more thing to be noted is this particular pupil is only a recent arrival to the school, while the victim has had several siblings and cousins who either attend the school or have previously attended the school. However, this may not continue to be the case if the school cannot follow a course of action which provides a safe environment for a young man who is already struggling to cope in social situations. Tell us below in the comments what you think.